My name is Will, and I hate capitalism. I read a lot of books in elementary school. You know, before they force you to hate reading by removing your agency over what you read. AR points actually seem like a good way to encourage kids to read more advanced material. Not if your school requires you to have a certain amount to graduate like mine did. Of course, I read Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Captain Underpants. Those two are a given. I also read the picture books of Mo Willems. Something about his style really spoke to me. Until one day I tried to check out an Elephant and Piggy book from my school library, and the librarian asked, "Don't you think you're getting too old for those books?" And boy was that a wake-up call. Now I only had Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Captain Underpants. And as great as they were, there's only so many of them. For more AR points, I'd have to look to my school library's book rack for a series that had always been there but I'd avoided up to that point. Next to the Bailey School Kids books was another series about strange teachers, My Weird School. My Weird School is a series of chapter books written by Dan Gutman and illustrated by Jim Palett, which started back in 2004 with Miss Daisy is Crazy. Gutman was exposed to Junie B. Jones and was inspired to write something similar, but from a boy's perspective. It must have been a hit because the original series lasted 21 entries and has since been followed up with sequel series after sequel series up to the present day. First there was My Weird School Days, which starts with the kids graduating from the 2nd grade and entering 3rd grade with a brand new teacher, Mr. Granite. That's pretty cool. Mr. Granite gets replaced by Mr. Cooper in My Weirdest School, and they didn't age again until the latest sequel series, My Weird-tastic School. Yes, that's what it's called. The series takes place at elementary school. Get it? And stars AJ, your stereotypical 8-year-old boy. His rival is know-it-all goody two-shoes Andrea Young. They're the most interesting characters, even if it's a dynamic you've no doubt seen before. The boy and girl who hate each other, even though they definitely secretly like each other. There's also Andrea's best friend, Emily Puckett, who's more sensitive, and AJ's friends, Ryan Dole, who will eat anything, Michael Robinson, who never ties his shoes, and Neil Crouch, who was introduced halfway through the original series. My Weirder School introduces Alexia Juarez, who's literally just a gender-bent version of AJ, down to her initials, and also another possible love interest. Each book centers around one of the many eccentric authority figures that AJ and friends come in contact with. They started fairly grounded, with most of the conflict coming from AJ's overactive imagination and misinterpreting what the adults would say. But they definitely got more far-fetched as they continued. Starting with My Weird School Days, each series would last 12 books instead of 21. The sequels in order are My Weird School Days, My Weirder School, My Weirdest School, My Weirderest School, and My Weird-tastic School. There's also been 13 My Weird School specials, 8 fact books, 4 early reading books, 3 graphic novels, and a book of writing tips, making for a total of 110 books in this franchise. There was a time where I was obsessed with these books, but eventually I stopped liking them as much, and they stopped letting us read them for AR points, so I stopped reading them. I don't know if the former was because of a drop in quality or me just growing out of them. Probably both. But they still had some good ideas in these later books. Like Mr. Harrison is Embarrassing, where they think the school technician, Mr. Harrison, might actually be George Harrison of the Beatles, and much of the dialogue is Beatles lyrics. What a novel concept that's never been done before. Do we think Dan Gutman watched Powerpuff Girls? Someday I'd like to collect all the books and do a proper deep dive, but for now, let's just review the movie based on the books, because believe it or not, there was a movie based on the books made by Nickelodeon. If this is the first you're hearing of this, there's a reason. The title is not an exaggeration. This movie was made as a tax write-off. It aired on Nickelodeon once in 2025 with minimal advertising, and then never again. Not even being put on Paramount Plus, despite being credited as a co-distributor. A terrible fate for any movie, but how bad can it be? Especially with author Dan Gutman co-writing it. Well, let's find out. First off, I just want to say that of all the ways they could have adapted the books to a visual medium, a live-action movie would have been my last choice. Diary of a Wimpy Kid made sense, and I'd argue was actually the best option for those books. When the first movie came out, the books were still very grounded, and they're presented as diary entries, so adapting it to live action makes sense. It's like, you've read Greg's accounts, now here's what actually happened. Now, why Greg would make himself look like an even bigger asshole in the books, I don't know. It was also only 4 books in. In my weird school, there's no diegetic explanation for the book's existence. They appear to be first-hand accounts of each book's events, not books written later after the fact, but they never explain why AJ is writing these and for what audience. They're not diary entries because AJ acknowledges the chapter format, and given his personality, it seems unlikely he would be writing these books. But with his formulaic stories, outlandish situations, simple, quirky characters, distinctive art style, and frequent use of catchphrases and running gags, My Weird School feels like it's begging to be turned into an animated series. That's a big part of why it appealed to me as a kid, because it felt like a TV cartoon in book form. But instead, they decided to adapt a series with over 100 books into a single live-action movie, not basing it on any specific book. And as you'll see, it's a very loose adaptation. It doesn't even take 5 seconds to see the first change from the books.
Go to middle school, they said.
Middle school. In the books, they went to elementary school. I guess they did this so they could cast older actors, which, you know, wouldn't be a problem if it was animated. We start off in media res with cheesy narration. Tell me if this reminds you of anything.
I've been in middle school for 2 whole days, and so far, it's been incredibly, terribly weird.
He said it! He said it!
My name is AJ, and I hate school.
He said the line. He said the line. I don't care. This is AJ, played by Hero Hunter, whose career probably won't be ruined by this, as he already had a major role in Nickelodeon's Young Dylan and voiced Darwin in The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball. If you're expecting me to mention his race, the illustrations of AJ were always racially ambiguous anyway, so I see no problem with this. Plus, they made it even by whitewashing Ryan, who's been turned from one of AJ's personality-less friends to the neurotic fat kid archetype you see in a lot of media. Played by Aaron Harris, who I swear looks like baby Jonah Hill. Funnily enough, he voiced Greg in the latest Wimpy Kid movie and has a major role in the Matlock reboot. There's no Michael or Neil in this movie. Instead, the trio is completed by Alexia, who's been changed from AJ's female counterpart to a fashion-obsessed social media influencer, Joy, played by real-life influencer Harper Zilmer. While AJ is contemplating jumping over the fence into an angry dog, they spot a shooting star. AJ ultimately chickens out, despite it turning out the dog was harmless, and they start their first day at Middale Middle School. At least they kept the naming scheme.
As the only member of this friend group with a phone, it is my duty to document our middle school experience.
They're entering middle school in 2025. No way they don't all have smartphones, as depressing as that is. On their way in, they see a strange man yelling at the kids to hurry up. God, who is this guy?
My name is Mr. Klutz, and I'm your new principal.
That's not Mr. Klutz. Mr. Klutz is bald. Who's it actually?
My name is Mr. Klutz, and I'm your new principal.
Yeah, very funny, but who are you really?
My name is Mr. Klutz, and I'm your new principal.
Okay, I get it. It's not funny anymore. What's your real name?
My name is Mr. Klutz, and I'm your new principal.
They gave Mr. Klutz hair? Why? His baldness is his most recognizable feature. Was it just so they could make this joke?
I had a bet with the students that if everybody made it here on time, I would get to shave my head.
He's played by Canadian actor Peter Oldring, who's best known for his voice roles in shows such as Braceface, Total Drama, and Glenn Martin DDS. And to be fair, he actually does a good job capturing how I imagined Mr. Klutz based on the books. Too bad he's not himself for most of it, but now I'm getting ahead of myself.
Are you a teacher?
Why would you ask if he's a teacher? He's sitting in the back of the class. I get that the joke is that he looks too old to be in middle school, but seeing this guy, do you really think teacher? This is Todd, a 4th-time 8th grader played by Sean Sotaridona, a TikTok magician, hence him doing magic tricks in the movie. He's a character invented for this movie.
Looking into the cast after watching this movie has been a trip for me.
Because I assumed these were all no-names whose careers were now dead on arrival thanks to this movie. But no, it's actually kind of stacked for a movie the studio clearly had no faith in. Makes me feel a bit less bad about making fun of it, and slightly less angry at Paramount for writing it off for taxes. Slightly. They're in a French class taught by Madame Dubois, another character invented for the movie, played by Amanda Kahn, who unfortunately for her, this is probably her most notable role. She only speaks French, isn't that silly? In the front of the class, it's Andrea Young, played by Nakai Takavira. This is also probably her most notable role, which is even more unfortunate because she's the best thing about this movie. Like Peter Oldring as Mr. Klutz, she feels exactly like how I imagined Andrea based on the books. And unlike Mr. Klutz, she's actually herself for the whole movie. She shows off her French skills, which annoys AJ so much he can't keep it to himself, leading to a rare reminder that this was in fact co-written by the author of the books, since their argument here feels very true to their arguments in the books.
You're such an evolutionary step backwards.
Bet you can't call me that in French.
Bet you don't know what that means in English.
I know what elevation is, Andrea.
They go to lunch where the lunch lady, Miss LaGrange, is rapping. Joy.
I think it's a millennial thing.
She's played by yet another influencer, Liv Purcell. This really is the episode where we find out how out of touch Will is with today's youth. Miss LaGrange was the name of the lunch lady in the books, but she definitely wasn't an attractive blonde woman, and was also French. Weird that they decided to invent a character whose gimmick is being French, when they already had a character whose gimmick was being French, and put her in the movie but didn't make her French.
And I'm going to enjoy my chicken sandwich.
He's fat because he eats, and he eats because he's fat, and he's fat because he eats. That's the joke. Get it? Ha!
We also meet school janitor Miss Lazar, played by Taiwanese-Canadian actress Annie Chen, who Wikipedia has confused with Taiwanese celebrity Annie Chen Ting-ni, who is not Canadian. The Annie Chen in this movie has had major roles in Lego Friends The Next Chapter and Hamsters of Hamsterdale. AJ is excited for gym class until he finds out the gym teacher,
Here, Mr. Small instead of Miss,
is a hippie obsessed with meditation. Hey, wait a minute. Stop ripping off Cartoon Network. He's played by Adam Rose, who actually voiced Peanut Otter in PB&J Otter, though he probably got casted because he's also very popular on social media. They've made a point to show the different staff members trying to catch flies, but Mr. Small is the only one who's successful. What the hell? Flagpole Sit-Up by Harvey Danger?
Today was just a weird day. Tomorrow will be better.
Completely natural line read. She accidentally drops her phone, except the way she does it makes it look intentional. As they're leaving, Miss Lazar eats her smartphone, and it's clear that not everything is what it seems.
Ha ha! You guys think you're so funny. Hand it back.
I'm sorry, but she cannot act.
the next day, all the staff is acting strange in a completely different way.
Mr. Klutz gives them uniforms, and Miss Lazar installs new green lights. All students are forced to turn in their phones, which of course Andrea enforces, and they've also traded in computers for textbooks.
What's a textbook?
Have middle schools actually completely abandoned textbooks? Madame Dubois is now speaking English and teaching them a strange language. Worst of all, they've all started saying slay. Joy. AJ tries to hypnotize Mr. Small, which doesn't work, and instead gets him sent to Principal Klutz, who sends them to the all-new detention room, where students are forced to watch 20 screens of educational content at once.
I was born watching 20 screens at once.
Later.
Oh God! I'm so bored! Somebody help me!
Come with me if you want to live.
You really expect your audience to have seen Terminator? Todd leads them through the vents onto the roof and into his man cave,
where he plays video games with Creepcraft,
another influencer.
This isn't real. This is fake. This is AI.
Todd helps AJ realize he can't stay up there because he feels that something's wrong and his friends need him to be there for him. While crawling through the vents, he catches this. He reports it to Ryan and Lex, and the former suggests they're aliens. What a ridiculous notion. Ryan, Lex, and Todd sneak him into the teacher's lounge, where he's able to trace the weird symbols off the toilet lid. Walking down the halls, he catches a glimpse of the music teacher, who's female, unlike both music teachers in the books. Yep, this would have given me nightmares. He evades Mr. Small and finds Andrea crying because of all the strange happenings, reluctantly letting her join their group.
She's able to identify the symbols as cuneiforms
and takes them to the library.
How's the library gonna help us? It's a repository of the collective knowledge of civilization. All the stuff in your phone, a lot of it's here. Some people think ancient cultures were ruled by aliens and adapted their language from them.
We're really doing ancient aliens? Deciphering the symbols, they find out the teachers really are aliens and are gonna destroy the planet. Then they evade Miss Hannah, the art teacher, which, fun fact, was the first book from the series I read, in a homage to Jurassic Park, and it's actually a well done scene. So they followed up with a really flat, tensionless action scene of the kids evading Miss Lazar and Mr. Klotz. They split up with Todd, Ryan, and Lex going back into the vents, and AJ sliding between Miss Lazar's legs, name dropping elementary, but he's immediately upstaged by Andrea, who does this. The only way out of the vents is into the pool. Todd jumps down without hesitation, meanwhile Lex confesses her fears to Ryan in a way that feels completely natural and not forced at all.
I can't do it.
What? But you're not scared of anything.
No, dude, I'm scared a lot. I hide it, and usually I pull it off, but this, we could legit die.
Ryan is able to convince her, and they're able to subdue Mr. Klutz while they escape. After hiding in the trash, AJ and Andrea go to the drama club room to change their clothes and have a heart-to-heart where Andrea admits she only sucks up to the teachers because they're the only ones who are nice to her, since Emily doesn't exist in this timeline. And her and AJ make amends with some very big ship teasing.
What? Do I look weird?
No. I mean, yes. I mean...
Of all the heartfelt scenes, this is the only one that kind of resonates with me. And even then, I feel it's more because I'm already emotionally attached to these characters due to growing up reading them, rather than anything the filmmakers did. Which shows that if you were gonna make a My Weird School movie, you really should have focused on these two and their relationship, since that's the aspect of the books that's most compelling from a character perspective. Put them in a situation that forces them to work together and use their respective skills, and through that realize their true feelings for each other. Instead, it's in there, but is surrounded by all this other fluff that I really don't care about. They reunite with the rest of the group who have found the mothership, and realize that the flies they saw yesterday were actually the aliens and have possessed the teachers, except Mr. Small, who joins their group. They deduce that the aliens feed on misery and are using the plumbing to harvest that energy, which they're storing in the faculty toilet, and will eventually expand to the entire world. So now they have to destroy the toilet.
I need to find my phone. I think the aliens might have found out a way to download my data and learn about us.
You just want your phone back.
Also that.
Kids these days addicted to their smartphones.
So, earlier, when you said you saw the video I posted, does that mean you follow me, or?
No. Your videos just come across my algo every now and then.
Completely natural conversation. They find out Mr. Small's an ex-firefighter, which leads to some force-sappy message about how teachers are there to help.
You're trying to help us?
No shit, he's trying to help you. He's following your plan.
Now slap yourself in the face.
Ow. Is that what aliens do?
No, that one was just for us.
You guys are assholes. While trying to destroy the toilet, Mr. Small gets caught by the other teachers, and they make him one of them. Andrea and Lex find out that Miss Lazar ate her phone, and has somehow absorbed all the data from it. So Lex resets her phone to save their lives. Which, one, I don't understand what data she has on her phone that would make the aliens more dangerous. And two,
It's treated like some big heroic sacrifice.
as if the data on her phone is somehow of similar value to their lives. AJ and Ryan use meditation to destroy the alien in Mr. Small's head.
Love is the opposite of misery.
No, it isn't. We get another awkwardly staged fight scene set to Sum 41, while AJ and Andrea destroy the aliens with the power of love. Yes, seriously. I also liked this better when the Powerpuff Girls did it. everyone celebrates, but unfortunately there's no dance party ending because we couldn't check off every box on the bad kid movie checklist.
76, 477, 478.
Good Charlotte, what is this soundtrack? And we end on a pathetic attempt at sequel bait. So that was the My Weird School movie, and it was really bad. I would have hated it as a kid purely because of how different it is from the books, which seems irrelevant, but not when you consider the target audience is elementary schoolers, and they're the ones who get most hung up on that stuff. And when divorced from that context, it's just your typical bad kid movie. Pandering and cliche dialogue, lowbrow comedy, a surprisingly convoluted plot, ham-fisted morals, one-dimensional characters, subpar acting, and amateur production. There's maybe 2 good performances and 2 good scenes, but that's not enough for me to recommend it to anybody. Does this mean I think it should have been used as a tax write-off? No, because I think completing a movie you don't have faith in only to sit on it or basically sabotage it just so you can pay less taxes is a scummy practice that exploits people's hard work, because even bad movies have plenty of effort behind them. If you think it's doomed to fail, then you shouldn't have finished the movie. Together, maybe we can convince studios to stop writing movies off for taxes. Maybe we can finally get a My Weird School animated series that does the books justice. And maybe Dan Gutman will finally let those damn kids grow up. But it won't be easy.
Open your eyes and take in